life with cats really is delightful until it's time to decorate for the holidays. We have one little old lady that I'm really not worried about. She keeps to herself, sleeps through the vast majority of the day. She's not going to be an issue when it comes to tearing down decorations. Our younger Void, oh boy. She is a force to be reckoned with a fighting spirit, and she would climb any tree, rip down ornaments, and it would be an absolute mess. But I still want to decorate. I want a tree. We didn't get to have one last year, partially because cats, partially because we moved into a smaller apartment and got rid of the old synthetic. And I miss decorating. It is one of the parts of the holidays that I really enjoy. Halloween, I was able to get away with a lot and have things just decor-wise that weren't going to be an issue with the cats, but trees are another matter. So I'm going to see what I can do to build I wouldn't say cat-proof, because where there's a cat, there's a way, but a cat-resistant tree. So let's see what I can come up with.
Starting out with a picture of the corner where I want the tree to go, giving myself a general sense of size and scale. I've found some really cute outlines as reference. I've got Procreate set up so it's drawing mirrored for me to start out with. That ends up looking kind of stale and sterile, so I go back and zhuzh it. Not terrible much, but it's enough that I really feel like it makes a difference and makes it look more organic. And once I get the black outline, I'm going to use my projector to put that up on the wall and trace everything out. I had a bit of bad luck and lost some footage, so I'm going to try and cobble together a decent instruction of what I did here in this pile of random bits of brown paper. It's actually the pattern that I made. So I have a little projector. I put my big roll of brown paper up on the wall and measured out the size that I wanted the tree to be. And from there, just took a Sharpie and traced out the outline directly from the drawing that I did on Procreate. If you want to do this yourself, there's all kinds of options. You don't even really have to do the design like I did. Or if you love the way my tree looks, I'm going to have the outline up for free for folks who support my Patreon. But cut all of that out, traced it off on the green felt with a little bit of extra overlap, cut it out, and painted it. Also cut out a little bit of red and brown felt to make the pot and the trunk. So good news and bad news on this project. Good news is I had an absolutely delightful time socializing with Danny, who came over to help me work on the tree. The bad news is we had such a good time, I completely forgot to film a painting process video. So I'm going to just show y'all what we did on a little scrap. The main tool here is a kind of rougher sea sponge I've had for a minute. I like the texture on this one. Just got a little bit of paint on it, and you can see my palette here. I've got 3 tones of green. Got a low light, a mid-tone, and a highlight. There, you can see that a little bit better. And all I'm going to do is go through and give this a little bit of dimension. It's a little hard to tell in the color of this video. This green is bright. It's a little bit more of an obnoxious green that I would like on my wall. So we're going to fix that. Thankfully, it was on sale. The color green that I liked better was a natural wool felt. And that was out of my price range. So we went with the cheap synthetic and are throwing an art degree on it. So all we did was go across the very top edge, which will have an overhang of the next piece of felt over it with the dark bit, because that will be our shadow. Then to tone down just the general greenness of this. It really is like the color of the costumes in Elf. Bright, bright, bright green. But to bring it a little bit closer to a natural color, went through with the mid-tone. And then just on the very edges, oops, if I remember to put out more paint. On the very edges, did a highlight. And we did this on the very, very bottom. So when the next layer overlaps, we'll give a nice contrast between the dark shadow, but also a little bit on the very top edges, because that is where the light is naturally going to be looking like it comes in from the window. So giving a little bit of illusion of depth. Then just going through and kind of blending everything together. I'm not going for a overly natural look, but also not as, what am I trying to say? I want something that's kind of in between the very, very bright green that I purchased and something more natural to get kind of a happy, cartoony in between. Very kind of scrim, like something that you would see in the background of a set. So, well, it doesn't look like much. That versus this. That modeling really looks nice when everything comes together. And when I show you the final product, I promise this will make more sense. Now for a little bit of montage mode. Danny is helping me to put up the tree now. It really could easily be a one-person job, but this is a holiday project. It's more fun to hang out with folks that you like while everything is nasty and dreary outside. We're just using clear push pins to put everything up, and as you can see, it goes pretty darn quick. So it really does make more sense on the wall. You can see where that darker color overlaps, that little bit of brighter color, along with the fact that it's actually got a little bit of space, gives a really pleasant illusion of making it more depth than there actually is, because this thing really is flat on the wall. And it is held on with just clear push pins, which also worked really well for holding on the lights. So this not only makes it cutesy, easy to put up, and easy to take down and store, but also renter friendly. Those itty bitty push pin holes are going to be non-existent when everything comes back down. So to make my life easy, the light axis is just right underneath the pot. And these are easier to deal with when I've got both hands. But they're just string lights that I got at the craft store. With a little push of the button, if I can find it while trying to do everything else. There we are. Turns on one string, and the other string, and it's got several different settings.
And between the two of them, it ends up looking pretty darn good.
I was worried it wouldn't read once the lights were out, but it's so pretty in the dark.
So it turned out really stinking cute. Checked all of my boxes for everything I wanted to accomplish. It's flat against the wall. The push pins are going to leave minimal marks, so renter friendly. Since everything is fabric, it's going to get folded up into a relatively small box for storage. So it's going to be able to be reused and not really take up much in the way of space because we are in the kind of small apartment. But, like, I love it. I do still want to figure out some sort of a topper. I've got some thoughts on some things that'll be very cheesy and very cute. Still want to figure out a couple of ornaments. Maybe garland. I'm not sure. But for now, what I've got, I'm going to call it done and a success.